Welcome back. News and Talk 1380 WAOK, the voice of the community, calling 44726 1380. Get you involved in the conversation. People passionate in politics. Sean Garvey holding down on the ones and twos. Darnell Morris, comedian extraordinaire, joining us today for our Men's Day discussion. We're talking about different issues of politics and social issues
Was
throughout
that
the
song for
show.
me or for her, Sean? Because you know we got a dispensary every 5 minutes here in the Bronx, baby.
But as I said, I have no problem with Lauren Boebert getting high. Just, vote in favor of federal decriminalization and let everybody who's in prison for doing exactly what she's doing out of prison.
You mentioned something about the LGBTQ, though. What was that in reference to?
Well, the thing is, they have been chasing drag queens across the country for the last 3 years, harassing them, etc., saying that they commit lewd acts in front of children. Meanwhile, here you are giving somebody a hand job, dang near getting finger banged at a Beetlejuice show, and you can see in the video a 10-year-old walk by behind her. So you're harassing people with no proof of them committing lewd acts in front of children for being gay. You're banning textbooks about gay people. You're trying to ban the gay flag, etc. Meanwhile, you go to the theater and get high and get your full freak on. It's the hypocrisy that I think people have an issue with.
Okay, well, to that point, I completely disagree with. I have to circle back because I want to make sure. Also, me and Miss Sophia will be on tour in November. So I support everything LGBTQ, and they need to be, I don't know, I have a feeling, and I said this in my last comedy special, which y'all see in a minute, but if everybody just minded their own business a little bit, I think we'd be a lot better off.
It's so easy because you know what the best way to, if you don't like things that gay people got going on, don't bother them. You'll have no idea.
Be with a gay person. I don't ask what's going on in the Nick's bedroom.
Look, I get all of my information on the LGBTQ community from white conservatives, white conservative men. They report about it 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. It's the only, you can find pictures, videos, anything that a drag queen does anywhere in the country. Go to a straight white conservatives page, and that will be the only thing that they post 24 hours a day. But we got to get to the next story. All right, so Susanna Gibson and her husband. Susanna Gibson is a candidate for the House of Delegates in Virginia. So it's a very highly contested race, very thin margins, and she had a good chance of winning. And then right before the election, a bunch of videos got released of Gibson and her husband who live streamed videos of them performing sexual acts on the website Chewbait and asked viewers to pay them money. The Washington Post reported. Gibson, who was a nurse practitioner and a mother of two, was gaining traction in her race as an abortion rights advocate running in a competitive district outside of Richmond. But now people believe that this is a case of revenge porn and doxing against Gibson. And Gibson is still remaining in the race and saying that this is why we need stronger laws against using people's, online sexual histories against them. So I'll start with Sean this time, then I'll go to Darnell. Sean, do you think that people having a debate are an OnlyFans or a, on any online sexual history? Because now, if you were in a Playboy magazine in the 70s, wouldn't that mean people going to see that and you can hide it pretty easily. Mm-hmm. Nowadays, this stuff stays on the internet forever. I was just watching some Roxy Reynolds from like 2009 the other day. This just stays around. Now she's a trucker.
He loves him some Roxy. It's weird. He used to know her. Didn't y'all date, Robert?
We went on one date. But I'm just saying. But the point is, do you think that that's fair game in politics to bring up that somebody has sex on the internet and ask for money?
Absolutely. I mean, that's what you signed up for. When you sign up for a political office-based job or you sign up for politics, I mean, of course, there's going to be people that's going to dig up your past or dig up what you've done recently and put it out there. I mean, that's what you signed up for. So, yeah, it is fair game.
And Darnell, what do you think? Do you think that it is, because at the end of the day, and this is the point that Gibson is making, what does her having sex with her husband on the internet for money What does that have to do with being in the state legislature? What does that have to do with being a delegate? If you're voting on, housing and crime and education, etc., because you have sex with people on the internet and there's a bunch of pictures of you, covered in fluids on the internet, like, well, how does that interfere with your job?
Wow, that's a hell of a way to switch that question over to me, Rob. Number one, I'm actually going to go a little bit different here. And I do think if it's a revenge porn situation, that I have to be completely against it. And the only reason I say that is because I know, like, even in the infancy when this revenge porn started to become a thing, I know a lot of young ladies that were affected by it. So I can't agree with that. But that aside now, what they do with their business and their time, unless there's some legal argument about raising campaign funds, Rob, and you would know better about that than I would, I don't see a problem there.
Well, there are no campaign finance laws which say how you can fundraise in general. As long as it's not for a corrupting purpose, as long as it meets reporting criteria, you can do a small dollar fundraiser using internet sex with your husband. There's nothing illegal about that. But for both of you, do you think that there's anything morally wrong about someone participating in online pornography and then serving in office? Do you think it affects their job or affects their ability to serve, or even do you think it's something that could be blackmailable or exploitable? That someone says, "Well, look, I got the rest of the videos, the worst videos, and if you don't vote for XYZ, then I'm going to release them." Do you think that that might be one of the reasons that people have a right to know if the person you're voting for has this type of history? I'll do a reverse order. I'll go to you first, Darnell.
No, as long as she's not conducting her porn scenes during her office hours. Because, just from a legal standpoint, no. From a moral standpoint, who are we? Who are we as a country now where everybody can sit back and judge everything, and to say that that person isn't, that one act doesn't make that person good in office? Meanwhile, they're finding cocaine in the White House. Bill Clinton, let's not even get into it. So let's not act like this is something new. And I think you can fully do both. But she needs to be open about it and honest about it. That way, that takes that blackmail aspect out of it.
Well, I look at it from two sides. When you sign up for a political office, you signed up to be in a profession where your target audience or your people, the people that follow you, are not adults. They're also kids. They're also teenagers. And keep in mind, because we do live in the technology world where nowadays everyone, no matter how old you are, you have free access to porn websites. It's not like it was back in the 80s and 90s when certain things were restricted, but you also have young kids that have access to free internet porn. So imagine if my son or daughter, I don't have kids, but if I were to have kids, my son or daughter can go onto Pornhub or to any other site and see a political face on there, and then see them on television giving out speeches about abortion rights, this, that, and the other. Yeah, it's going to be a question of moral compass.
Robert, I think Sean's on drugs again.
Yeah, I'm using the same type. I'm using the same type of drugs as that other caller that Robert called out a few moments ago.
You think the 15-year-old is going from Pornhub to CNN?
But real quick, so this has precedence. Back in 2019, if people remember, a Democratic Congresswoman from California, Katie Hill, was forced to resign after she was in a throuple. So it's her husband, and another woman in a throuple. And so things went badly. They broke up. So the other woman released a bunch of nude photos and videos of Congresswoman Katie Hill. And so Katie Hill ended up resigning from Congress because of this revenge porn. She then sued.
What year was
people? That? 2019. This was a couple years ago. She then sued the people who released the pictures and videos and lost. It was ordered to pay $220,000 in fees, and court costs in 2021. And as a result of that, in 2022, she had to file for bankruptcy. So not
And in
only did she lose her seat
2023,
in
she's on
Congress,
OnlyFans, so she'll be all right.
so not only
She's
did she
probably
lose her
making more
seat
money
in
now than she
Congress,
ever did.
well, she lost her seat in Congress. She lost her court case and went
Congress
bankrupt
don't pay
because
no
of
money?
these Oh no! Congress pays the most money. What are you talking
Oh,
about?
as opposed to OnlyFans, sir?
Yes, think about Nancy
you're out of
Nancy Pelosi walked into Congress without a pot to piss in or a window to pour it out of. Now she got $500 million. It's not the salary; it's the corruption. It's the corruption that you need. Why do you think these people hang around there for 40, 50 years? Marjorie Taylor Greene used to own a gym. Lauren Boebert used to be a hooker. I mean, George Santos is a professional scammer. They get into Congress for the scam.
And a hooker.
Let's be for real about this. She was a drag queen. Be respectful. George Santos
He's
is
a drag queen hooker. It's fine.
A drag queen named Katira Ravache. He was
what do you think, drag?
Princess.
They don't have.
What?
You don't think they have drag queen hookers?
George Santos is the next topic. We're going to talk about this after the break. Call in 404-726-1380. Get you involved in the conversation. News and Talk 1380 WAOK.